Welcome, one and all, to the Gaming Blind with SammoBam Let's Play of Legend of Keepers. What is Legend of Keepers? Well, it's kind of a combination dungeon builder slash turn-based RPG slash roguelite slash office management simulator. So, great, I get to bring my work home with me. Oh boy. I really like this game. It is, as of the recording of this episode, it is currently in early access on Steam and probably other platforms. I don't know, I haven't really checked that much, but it is currently, I know it's on Steam, and it is available, and the devs are working on just changing new stuff in the game and updating stuff. Do I want to launch the tutorial? Nah, I probably should, just to give you guys an idea of what exactly is going to happen in this game, but I just want to dive right in. So, because I started a new game, you can see we only have access to one of our boss characters, which this is the character that we are going to play. I was kind of hoping that the third boss would have been unlocked by now, but unfortunately, as of today, he is not. But that's okay. We'll work with the two bosses that we have for now. So, currently we have one boss monster unlocked. This is Mog, who can't do anything with talents because we don't have... Oh, we do have a talent point. Oh, I didn't even realize you start with a talent point. Neat. So there's talent trees and things, which is kind of where the roguelike part or roguelite part comes in. Kind of like, Rogue Legacy and all those sorts of games where you can build on... After you die, because you will die in this game, you get talent points and experience points, and then you can get better abilities. So let me look at this real quick. Actually, no. Let's skip the talent point for now, because let's just dive into the game. And I don't really think it matters which one of these we do, but let's just leave everything in the middle, and let's go.
Let's get to work.
All right, fine, I'll go work. So, we're just going to dive right in. I don't even care what monsters I have. I haven't started a new game in quite some time. I actually only really started this game up again for the first time in a few months because I haven't played this game in a couple months, so I think there have been some changes. I did actually, in the interest of full disclosure, I did attempt to record some of this game just recently for YouTube, and then I didn't realize until like episode 3 that I was actually playing on a non-new save file, so I kind of messed that up, so I scrapped that recording, and here we are now with a new save file. So we'll see what happens here. So this is the dungeon building part of the game, where you have to place your minions, your monsters, your employees. You can also place traps, and then this is a spell spot, which you can't really place. You just have some spells you can choose between, and then you have several different traps. You have different monsters, and then there's you at the end. So every one of these dungeons, it comes with 3 heroes that you have to fight. You place 3 of your own monsters, and we just kind of have to look at the different heroes, see what their strengths and weaknesses are, what attacks they can use, and just sort of try to build a team that will best defeat these enemies. And there are 2 ways you can defeat enemies. You can either kill them by lowering their life to 0, or you can scare them away by reducing their morale to 0. And life is the top number, morale is the bottom number. So, while it might seem like morale is harder to do, especially with certain characters like these, because all of them have much higher morale than health, it also depends on the skills that the different heroes have. So, let's see. So we have a thug at start. So he does nature damage to the front. He does a lot of nature damage to the front and poisons. And my headphones. Okay, fine. Great. Thank you, headphones. I'm using Bluetooth headphones, and sometimes they just disconnect randomly, but thankfully it tells me that it disconnects, and it's like, okay, cool, whatever. Anyway, so we have a thug who, he does nature damage. By the way, here are all the different numbers that you can look at, which I think this is probably why people tried to call this like a reverse Darkest Dungeon, is look at all the stats! But I think it's quite different from Darkest Dungeon. So, anyway, so this guy deals nature damage to the front, and he also applies 4 stacks of poison to the monster with the highest health at the start of a fight, which is kind of rough. But he doesn't have a lot of health, and he doesn't have a lot of morale, so he is also very weak to fire and air, which is good to know. Okay, then we have an elf who, she's going to make it more difficult for us to kill all these heroes, because she can heal one of the heroes for 50% of their maximum life after a fight, but only once, thankfully. And she deals ice damage to the entire party and lowers our elemental resistance, which is bad, because then we also have to deal with a magician who deals fire damage to the area and randomly moves our monsters around at the start of the first fight. So this is a really annoying team to have to deal with, because they're all relatively fast, and they do a lot of damage, and they do a lot of area damage. So I need to figure out what I can do here. So we have nature damage to the front, and then like this is how the other thing that they think people refer to it as Darkest Dungeon, because it's like you set up your monsters in a row of 3, and depending on where they are, you know, the enemies or the heroes can hit you for hit certain rows, I guess, or columns, or whatever you might want to call it. So I have to figure out. We only have 4 choices here, obviously. So the orc would be good for the front row because he's very resistant to nature, but because of this magician who randomizes the monsters at the start of the first fight, we can't guarantee that he'll end up in the first position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the orc in the last position to guarantee that he will at least hope that maybe he will move up to the front row. Because if I put him in the middle row, there's a chance he'll be in the front, or there's a chance he'll be in the back row. So I'd rather get him hopefully a 50%. Well, it's a 50% shot no matter what. And they won't be randomized to be in the same spot. So all 3 of them move no matter what. Okay. And let's see. Let's see. Depending on whether or not I want to use Yetigo or not, I probably do, although he does have very low fire resistance. He's actually super weak to fire. Obviously, he's an ice creature. This guy is weak to ice, right? He is weak to ice. She is not, and he is not. Okay. Goblin is super fast and can deal a good amount of damage, but he's very frail. Yeah, let's see. I think Magician has low armor, right? He does. So that might actually be a pretty decent thing to use. And I think... okay. So... Oh, wait, let me check... Okay, you have bad nature resist. So I think what I'm going to do... I'm going to put the Goblin in the front row. So he guaranteed will not be in the front row. I'm going to take the Skeleton Archer, because he at least has really good nature resist. So if the Skeleton Archer gets shifted to the front, then he can at least take at least one hit from the Thug. Maybe not from everybody else, but he can at least take 1 hit from them. Okay, that's our first room. Now I have to decide what traps we're going to use. Since we're going to go for kills for the most part, I probably should do that. So let's go for the Circular Saw, because that'll do some damage and set some bleed. Then we have a spell, which the Slave Order doesn't have the greatest spell choices. And we're going to do... let's do Rallying Horn, because that'll give 3 stacks of Enrage to our next group of monsters, which we'll probably need in order to kill off this last group of heroes. So we have a Boarman, who is very weak to nature, so I probably shouldn't put him in the front, although I don't think any of these creatures... Yeah, all of them are really weak to... Oh, no, wait, hold on. Gargoyle... Nope, all of them are really weak to... This is terrible. Am I going to have to put a Fire Magus in the front just because he's not weak to... That's terrible. Okay, I have to think about this one for a second. This is a really bad group of heroes to have to fight for our very first dungeon. Okay, so was he weak to ice? I think no, he's not weak to ice. You're weak to ice, but I can't really hit them with... Okay, what about air? Are you weak to air? You are weak to air. Okay. I don't want to use the... This is pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. This is pretty bad. Okay. Okay, so you're weak to air, so I think... I'm not gonna put the Gargoyle in front, because he's... Do I just want to put the Boar out front, so... minus 50% nature, though. He's gonna die in 1 hit there. This is awful. I guess I'll just put him out there to tank a hit and then die. He's not gonna live to be able to actually attack, which is unfortunate, but, you know, we'll have to just deal with it. Okay, let's take the Gargoyle. And who do I want to take last? Fire Magus or Ghost, maybe? Ice Skeleton. Ice damage to the front and does some Frostbite. Let's do 60 damage. And he's resistant to ice. Let's take the... Wait, was this guy... This is the problem that I have with this game sometimes. I don't have a problem with it. It's a problem with me. I can't remember stats sometimes. But let's just try this and see what happens. Well, we'll see what we can do. Okay, so there's that, and unfortunately... Okay, so our skeleton archer got shifted to the front, which is not the best. But let's just go ahead and attack that guy. So at least we can do a fair amount of damage. And that is unfortunate that our skeleton archer died before I had a chance to do anything with him. So I was going to try to go for maybe like a full party poison attack, but instead, no, I get to do none of that. So, okay, let's just try to kill these guys off. Of course, the elf is just going to heal up the magician as soon as they kill off this team, which will be pretty soon. Right about now. There we go. So this, as I said, this is actually kind of awful for a first dungeon. So, okay, let's see. He's weak to fire, I believe, right? So I can use Burning Whip on him. Oh, I'll kill him, actually. That's great. Okay, that's actually quite nice, because then I don't have to worry about him poisoning someone, and he can't deal nature damage to the front row, which means my boar man is going to be fine. For the moment, anyway. Let's do a Spectral Wave, because Scare just does morale damage, and I'm not super focused on morale damage. Oh, I'm going to kill him. Oh, she healed herself? Maybe she healed herself. Okay, I'm fine with that. And let's see. That is air damage. She is neutral to air damage. That's okay, though. Oh, no, I was going to do Sharp Horns, because the bleed. Because that's 3 layers of bleed. That's going to do a lot, especially with the... There we go. Okay, so lowered the elemental resistance, but that's okay. I think she has pretty low armor, so Wild Strike will kill her. Okay, that worked out decently well. I did get 3 of my monsters knocked out, which kind of sucks, but it's okay. We made it through the first round, so we have 108 gold. We got 12 blood because we killed all of our heroes. No tears, unfortunately, so we didn't scare anybody off. And so I can either choose between 115 gold for a bonus, or a Naga, or a Ballista. Ballista's pretty good early, but having another creature right now I think is more important. And Naga is one of those sort of debuff characters that I haven't fully figured out exactly how to use it yet, but we'll see what happens. We'll give it a try. Okay, let's take the Naga, if for nothing else, then because I want another creature. So, now because 3 of my creatures were defeated in battle, their motivation dropped. Now, this isn't a big deal yet, because they have anywhere from 5 to, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. So, it's not a big problem yet, but if their motivation drops more, then I'm probably going to have to take them out of rotation and not have them fight. But we'll see what happens with that. So, okay. So now is the office management section of the game, where we have to pick one of these different things, one of these different tasks to do, and then we can either, in this case, we can either go to the engineer to upgrade our traps, talk to a merchant to potentially buy monsters or traps, or we can do an office event, which it's random, so who knows. So next week we have after that is transmute, so the alchemist. So that's not really very helpful right now because we don't have a lot of resources or an event. And then what's after this? Okay, so there's a training or an event. Okay, so let's go to the merchant first. As much as I'd like to upgrade my traps, upgrading traps costs a lot of money. And there's, wow, okay, 2 really good creatures right off the bat, which means I'm probably not going to get a chance to train anybody, but that's okay because early on, we need creatures. So I'm fine with taking a skeleton soldier and a flame eater. We'll talk about them more when we actually get around to using them in battle. So that was actually quite nice, getting all of them. So let's do an office event, because I don't have enough resources to do much of anything. So let's see here. The shifty-looking supplier is offering you some human thigh meat. Oh, this is a scary one right here, actually. To feed your employees. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time reading for some reason. One thing that I mentioned when I first played this game, because I did play this game when I used to do stuff on Twitch. I would like to get back to doing it, but just because of my current situation with life, I can't really do that. So one thing I mentioned a long time ago when I played this was that I was hoping that they might be able to change the contrast on this to make it a little bit easier to read, because for me at least it's hard to read this Maybe, or just even increasing the text size, that'd be nice. Or if they even give you the option to do that, that'd be cool. Anyway, something about feeding our employees at a discount. They don't they don't smell particularly fresh, but you know that the management would give you a sweet salary bonus for reducing overhead. So if you do this, obviously you get a huge amount of money, which would be great for training. But in the past, I've had this experience where if I do this, then there's a possibility that later on down the line, a bunch of employees get sick and then they're out for a very long time. And this early in the game, I don't want to risk getting a bunch of creatures getting sick. So I'm going to refuse for now. I have 108 gold, so I can potentially level up like the goblin, because goblins are very cheap to level up, which is good, because they're not super strong early, but they're not bad. So I'm going to skip the training for now. Let's just do another event, see what we get here. Okay, so an archaeologist is ringing your doorbell. What? Okay, sure. To claim an artifact, blaming you for looting it. I don't have any artifacts, sir. What are you talking about? He even dares to demand you donate it to a museum. So we can crush him, we can slice him, or we can quarter him. Either way, we get 15 blood. Let's quarter him. That's the grossest thing to me. Okay. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and dive into the next one. What the heck? And I haven't really bothered to check and see like which monsters went where, but I'm not super worried about it, so let's just run with it. The first few rounds aren't too bad, but we'll see what happens this time. Maybe we'll be able to do a morale victory, or at least try to scare some of them off. Maybe. Okay, so we have another thug. This guy's level 2, which this is the thing about the game, is that the difficulty, it's a straight line basically, because every dungeon, one hero levels up. So, like the first dungeon, all the heroes were level 1. The second dungeon, one hero is level 2. The next dungeon, 2 of the heroes will be level 2. And then the third dungeon, all of them will be level 2. And then they have like different tiers of classes. So there's like a thug, and then there's like the level 2 thug, and then level 3 thug. And I mean like the whatever. You'll see what I mean later on. Anyway, so we have another thug, unfortunately. Okay, so we know what he does. We have an exile who deals air damage to the back row and gives 50% of heroes' maximum morale back after a fight. So again, my brilliant plans are being foiled by these skills that these heroes have. And then we have a scout, who has 50 or physical damage to the back row and dodges the effects of the first trap. So again, we're not getting like any tanks, so we can't really do much in the way of doing morale victories. I'm going to try it though, just to try and get some extra morale. At least we're not going to get shifted around this time, so that's good. Let me see here. Okay, so it's physical and air damage to the back row. So who's good against both of those? Orc has low air resist. Yetigo might have to go in the back row just to tank a couple of hits. Naga is not great for that. Flame Eater, I think, has really bad armor and no air resist. Okay. So if I really want to go... Okay, so let's do Orc in the front, Yetigo in the back, because Orc at least has really good nature resist, so he'll resist the attacks from the thug. And then we just have to figure out who do we want to put in the middle, because we can do... Let's see, what is your resist? You have decent nature resist, you have poor ice resist. Okay, not great for that. He's got good nature resist, I know, the thug. And exile, okay, also has good nature resist. Dang, alright, this is going to be another rough fight, apparently. Okay. I'm not going to get too many... Well, no, this isn't going to go super great. Again. This is a rough start, I gotta say. I'm not okay with this. But, alright, let's just use the Flame Eater for the heck of it. He's not going to work super great in this party, but we'll just run with it for the moment. Okay, let's do... I want to try and get at least a little bit of morale damage on these characters, even though the Exile is going to heal off a lot of that, but we'll just work with it for the moment. We'll see what happens. I'm probably going to die, but that's fine. We'll be fine. So I think Boarman had... okay, well, at least the skeleton soldier has nature resist. Also, I really like his passive ability because monsters behind him take less damage. That's quite nice. And let's see. So it's nature... No, I'm sorry. It was air and physical to the back. Gargoyle's not too bad. Actually, Boarman would be great for the back row there, now that I think about it. Let's see. Ghosts would also be decent for that. Fire Magus would be bad. Let's see. Do I want to put I don't really want to put 2 tanks in here. So, on the other hand, I mean, 50% armor and 50% air resist is really good. So I think I'm actually going to do this. This is not a thing I would normally do, but I'm going to try it anyway and just see what happens. Although, actually, you know what? No, I'm not. If I'm going to go for morale victories, I should probably put Gargoyle and Ice Skeleton in there, or Ghost. I think I'm going to go Ice Skeleton just because he sets up demoralized levels as well, so that's good. Okay. We'll try to go for a morale victory, but I'm not going to expect it to happen. We'll give it a shot. Okay, that is okay. That's okay. Wow, they're all going to go before us, huh? Okay, that's fine. And unfortunately, the Flame Eater goes first. I was hoping he wouldn't, but then again, he has the highest speed by far of all of my creatures, so it's not super great. But we've slowed them down, and I forgot I was going to go for morale victory, so let's just still give this a try. Alright, let's see. Oh, you still get to go first. So the thing about Persecution is that it adds 2 stacks to the penalty with the most stacks applied to the target. So since we only have 1 penalty applied to the different targets, that means that it's going to stack the slowdown, which is good. That is less good that our Yetigo died already. I was hoping he wouldn't, because that means that the Flame Eater is probably going to die. Oh no, he survived. Okay, good for him. Okay, so he gets 1 more round off. That's good. Also, he deals more damage the more stacks of penalties are on the targets. So he's actually pretty damn good. But you just have to kind of... Alright, she dodges the first trap. I forgot about that. Also, we're killing them a lot faster than I was expecting to be able to do. So, well, let's see. Do I really want to do that, or do I just want to... Let's just kill this guy off. As much as I really wanted to go for, you know, morale victories and scaring them away, considering where they're at health-wise versus where they're at morale-wise, I probably am just going to focus on killing them at this point. Maybe. Let's see. That'll kill him. You know what? Let's just get it over with. This didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to, but it's fine. It's okay. It worked out in a way that I wasn't planning for it to, but that's okay. So, what do we get here? We get 93 gold. Okay, so we get a guaranteed 105 gold, which is nice. You get either a Goblin Drummer or a Succubus. Both of these are very good creatures, but for very different reasons. Succubus is actually really, really good for damage, and also, like, AoE damage, sort of. Goblin Drummer is a great buffer and debuffer. So, I think we have enough buffers and debuffers right now. I think I want to take the Succubus this time. So let's do that. And I think that's a good place to call it for today. So, I hope you enjoyed this initial episode of Legend of Keepers, because I'm going to keep playing it a lot, because I really like this game. So, thank you all for tuning in, and I will talk to you all next time.